John Cena cut his second heel promo on this week's edition of WWE Raw. That comes off the heels of what happened last week, where Cena did the same thing. And of course, that was coming off of what happened in Elimination Chamber, when it was John Cena shocking the world, turning heel, and selling his soul to the final boss, The Rock. And what did Cena have to say this week? Well, it was a lot of the same thing that we heard last week, right? Still pointing the finger at the fans, still blaming the fans for everything that has really happened and why maybe he's reached this breaking point. The desperation we see is there, even though maybe it's a little more subtle, that Cena does indeed know what it means and what it would mean if he's able to capture that 17th World Championship from Cody Rhodes if he wins at WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas next month. It would be just John Cena at the top, right? He mentioned all the things about how he's going to ruin wrestling because John Cena is going to take that championship and he's going to retire with it. He's going to ruin professional wrestling. That was sort of the theme here with John Cena, as he again pointed towards the fans and made them really the focus here of this entire thing. And we said in last week's video, coming off that first promo, it made a lot of sense because what do you want to do? Well, it seemed like WWE wanted to really push the idea that, okay, we have to go ahead and make sure that there isn't going to be maybe that 50-50 split, right, between Cody and John Cena in the biggest match of the year when they main event night 2 of WrestleMania 41. You want there to be a clear divide after what John Cena did at Elimination Chamber. You're going to boo John Cena. You're going to cheer Cody Rhodes. So far, mission accomplished, right? And that was the whole basis of Cena's first promo, is that he decided to turn on the fans, just like he turned on Cody Rhodes and everything else, right? That then set up the idea that, okay, we have people exactly where they want them, right? We want the fans to make sure that they don't want to see John Cena capture that 17th World Championship. We want them actively rooting against it now, whereas we came into the year thinking a lot of people were going to be rooting for it. They wanted to see John Cena break the record. Well, the thing they did, again, the previous week is they set that in motion. And I told you guys I thought it was a pretty brilliant move. Go ahead and set everything there to where it is that clear divide. Don't keep it 50-50. Don't have the back and forth, anything like that. If you're going to do this with John Cena, go all the way. Well, that leads us to this week, where it was a lot of the same. And it was John Cena bringing up some things, as we know from the past, that certainly will continue to play into this theme, right? Talking about the Spinner Championship belt and all of these other things, right? These are things that we know have been a hot topic of conversation over the years for WWE fans. That is one of many things that we can probably look back on during the height of John Cena at the top of WWE when he was getting the cheers and the boos and everything in between when he was the guy that was holding that precious world championship. And so I think for Cena to go back to that makes sense. And again, the crowd did the same thing. Everyone was behind Cody Rhodes, all the cheers. Everyone pretty much was not behind John Cena. All the boos, everything was there, right? But I'll admit, the honest truth about this John Cena heel turn, in terms of where it's at right now, is that it's probably not going to be exactly what we thought it was going to be. I can't say just yet that I'm completely bought into everything that he's saying. And I said last week as part of that, I thought they did something really well in terms of going ahead and setting it up that way, having the audience completely turn on Cena so that the heel turn wouldn't exactly just be a cool thing, right? Wouldn't just be the cool NWO heel turn. Have everyone turn on Cena, give them a reason why. Well, he gave them a reason why when he turned it against the fans. But now, I want it to be a little bit more, right? And I don't think that's asking too much when we say, okay, we know that John Cena versus the fans is now the story. It's more of the story than John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, at least a couple weeks in, right? But what else is there to this? What else is there to kind of dive into with all of these layers of John Cena? Well, we know there's a lot. We still have to figure out what's The Rock's involvement in all this. Why did John Cena actually sell his soul to The Rock? Why did he decide to make this move now, right? Versus, why didn't he do it a little while back? Why was now the time for John Cena to make the move? We can obviously answer that ourselves, knowing that it is his final year. He got desperate. He didn't have a choice. But that's not really been acknowledged so far. It's really just been about John Cena versus the fans. They're the ones who made him do it, when in reality, the fans were booing him a long time ago. They weren't booing him necessarily at the Royal Rumble. They weren't booing him during this final retirement tour. Go back to Money in the Bank last year. They weren't booing him in Toronto. So it didn't really connect all the way. And I'm thinking, okay, well, we've got a little time to figure that out. Well, we're 2 weeks in. And the fact is, this is going to be a very long, long story. And with WWE, if there's something we know these days, it's what? It's all about the slow burn. And so, if we think we're getting all the answers right now, the honest truth is that we're not going to get all the answers just yet. And I think that can leave a little bit to be desired. Because I think right now, the biggest thing missing for me is that it doesn't fully feel authentic. It feels like something where, just like other things in wrestling can, right? It can feel like this is pretty manufactured, and it really is more about Cena versus the fans than it is Cena versus Cody Rhodes. You have time to get there. WrestleMania is still a month away. But I think not having The Rock, not having the whole lead up to the Elimination Chamber that was built around The Rock just making this surprising return, all of a sudden the final boss wants Cody Rhodes to sell his soul to him, and then we get this huge, I mean, we're talking one of the biggest WWE developments of all time, with John Cena and The Rock joining forces, and now it's just John Cena basically joining forces with Cody Rhodes in the middle of the ring every single week, and Cena giving it to the fans just as they gave it to him for years and years and years. The premise makes sense. It's just you have to continue, I think, to add those different layers of believability. It has to feel like something that is a little bit more real, right? And again, one of the things we said last week, if you wanted to pick apart something with John Cena's first promo, it was the fact that it felt like it was John Cena talking, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. He's John Cena. But it was the same sort of delivery. This week, I think you had him slow it down a little bit, and you had things that made a little bit more sense in terms of some of the mannerisms and everything like that to really push the idea that, okay, this is John Cena the heel. This is not the guy we saw 2 months ago. It's not the guy we saw, again, at times being able to sort of take the victory lap on his career over the past several years. This is a different John Cena. But when you hear words like dangerous and all of these other things to describe John Cena, it doesn't look that way when he's doing what he's doing right now in the middle of the ring. He still looks like John Cena, right? The shirts may be a little bit darker. The words may be a little bit more harsh, but he's still John Cena. And so I think they are going to have to probably at some point, and again, this is where the truth is they have plenty of time. You have 2 3-hour shows basically every single week for months with John Cena that you can use to be able to tell all these stories, to add all these different layers in. And as much as we want to know right now what's the reasoning behind some of these things, they're in no rush to give it to us. Because everything in WWE right now feels like it's a bit of a slow burn. WrestleMania, from Elimination Chamber to WrestleMania, that is a long period of time. And we're starting to see some of the same sort of themes built in with other storylines as well. But with this one, it is something where I think you're going to have to continue to find ways to make people believe that this is something that is truly coming from John Cena, right? He's done good on the delivery. I mean, come on, it's John Cena. He's not just a professional wrestling legend. He is a Hollywood star. Of course, he can put this together and put on an act that makes it make sense. But again, I think it's where after you've seen someone in a certain way for a long time, you do need that extra something. Where is the John Cena who viciously attacked Cody Rhodes? Where is, again, the Rock's element in all of this? Like, we know why the Rock's not there. He's not going to be there every single week, right? We understand that. But still, I think to me, that's one of the things that's missing right now, is the fact that this was such a shocking move, but it tied in the Rock and sort of the entire Cody Rhodes story itself of Cody desperately needing to keep that championship, right? And not willing to take the bait from the Rock. He decided to go his own way, and that was admirable because you do want everyone cheering Cody. But at the same time, we need to know more about why John Cena decided to take that offer from The Rock. And we're starting to understand, again, what he's saying when it comes to the fans. And that undoubtedly plays a role in what will be the big reveal once they get Cena, revealing that kind of information, right? Once he goes deeper into the Rock side of things. But he's not there yet. And I think it's going to maybe take a while for him to get there. It's going to have to play a role in their match at WrestleMania 41. We have no idea how it plays out. Who wins right now? We don't know. Because, again, you can make arguments for both sides, and we'll certainly talk about it leading up to that match next month. But for now, I do think it's one where when you look at this and sort of it's basically John Cena versus the fans, I think there are some other elements that probably need to be added to it when it comes to John Cena versus Cody Rhodes and why Cena specifically is targeting Cody Rhodes here, other than the fact that he is the champion during Cena's final run. That makes all the sense in the world. But there's got to be a little bit more to it, right? And we've got to know a little bit deeper into John Cena other than just the frustration. It made sense the first week to get all that frustration out after years and years and years of everything built up and all the backlash that John Cena faced. Of course, it's fine to let it all out these first couple weeks. But I do still think it's missing something. They have to capture whatever that is to kind of give it that next level feel the same way that it felt at Elimination Chamber. You can't replicate that moment ever again. But, as always, it's not just about that moment, it's how you follow it up. And so having that initial break between getting Cena back on Raw and now having him on Raw back-to-back weeks here, I think people are going to want more and more and more when it comes to this, and count myself in that. I think there is more that you can continue to add here with this story, and we know they're going to do it. It's just, I think the pace that they're going at is going to be something that may, for some people, feel a little bit lacking as we head towards WrestleMania. But there's still time. There's still, like we said, several weeks that they can do this. And by having John Cena and Cody Rhodes under the same roof, the way it's being billed right now, then that's going to continue to be the thing. Where just having these two guys in the ring, you would think more and more layers of this story is going to come out. And like I said, the honest truth is it just may take a while to get to all the destinations that we want to get to when it comes to this John Cena heel turn. And I don't think we're quite there yet. I think we still have a ways to go. And again, to me, I do think there are still some things missing. And I think there is more that probably needs to be added here to make it feel a little more authentic in terms of how they're doing it. But guess what? The crowd's reacting the way they want, and that may be all that matters. So I want to know what you guys think. You gave me your thoughts after week 1 of John Cena. What did you think about the second week? Again, the focus was the same. The verbiage was a little bit different. There were different things he brought up. We mentioned it. Whether it's talking about, just, being able to sort of play into the fans' hands, talking about the spinner belt, all these other things. He's going to be the last real world champion. He's going to retire with the belt, all this kind of stuff. He's going to ruin pro wrestling, as John Cena said. Do you believe him? Or do you just see this as something, again, that's just part of the bigger story, which will play out from here? Curious to know what you guys think. There's been a lot of mixed reaction, I feel like, online to what's going on right now with John Cena and Cody Rhodes. And we know there's probably a bigger discussion as to what's going on with the build to WrestleMania 41 as a whole. Plenty of strong reactions out there on that. I want to know what you guys think. What do you think? A couple weeks in to this sort of promo battle we've had between John Cena and Cody Rhodes. Do you like where things are at? Are you buying all this just yet? Or do you think there needs to be a lot more added to it to get you fully invested for what's going to happen between John Cena and Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 41? Let me know your thoughts as always. Always appreciate the feedback, guys. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button as well, and let me know your thoughts on where things stand several weeks in now to the John Cena heel run in WWE.